All right, guys, I'm going to jump right into it. We only got a couple more weeks of looking at the area high school boys and girls. And speaking of the boys and girls in track and field, Corunna boys and Owasso girls both finished undefeated in the Flint Metro League meets this season. Both also placed first in the league meet last week at Holly. Trojans got their first conference title since 1998. Peyton Spicer led the way, winning the shot put and the high jump. The Cavaliers won their third straight Metro, an eighth conference title in a row. Tarek Bauer won the 100 and 200, anchored the 4x100 winning team. Corunna also dominated the competition with 178.5 points to Clio's 89.5 second place showing. Also in track and field, Ovid Elsie's Alexa Spitzley, who, she's very good in track. She set a new school record in the 800-meter run. Jody Heyer had the previous record set all the way back in 1977. That's 46 years ago, if you're counting. And Spitzley not only now has a school record, but more importantly, she was named valedictorian at Ovid Elsie. So that's very cool honor.
Nice.
Stay tuned. That's going to be kind of interesting to see what Corunna can do when they get to the state meet. You know, I think they legitimately have a shot, and we'll see if they have good weather. We talked about it before. If they have good weather and can put up some personal best times, they could be right there for a title.
That's the thing with track. I mean, it's partly true with any sport, but when you've got the 3 or 4, 5 fastest, guys or girls at the 100, 200, because then they also run the relays.
Absolutely.
They run them individually.
Right.
You can almost notch in. All right, we're winning 4 of these events right here. We just got to, try and win a couple of these other ones, and we're going to be perfectly set up. I remember when I was going through, we had one of my good friends on the pod, John Strine, he pole vaulted in college. And so he was really good in high school, and they just basically notch in. He's going to win every event, every meet we go to. He's winning pole vault, notch in however many points you get there. They had a couple other people who were good at other events too. So that's why, I just remember them talking about whenever we go to a meet, you can already pencil us in for this event, because we've got the best athletes at those ones. I feel like that's where Corunna's at right now. So obviously, you never know what happens on meet day, but when you've got athletes like the Bauer twins and some of these other ones, of course. Do they still hold the Mitka at Corunna?
I was actually just going to talk about that. So, yeah, I mean, that's what's funny about track and field is, we all know, the Tyrone Wheatley story. One man won a state championship.
Yeah.
Which is just hilarious. I wish I could have been there for that day. I mean, one guy probably didn't even have anyone around him, maybe not even a coach, and he's just out there probably warming up by himself, and he's going to win the event. That's awesome. Yeah. But no, the Mitka, because of stuff like that in track and field, where basically it's kind of still an individual event with a team kind of border around it. We kind of they made up sort of another championship meet, Mitka as it was called. Yeah. And this is what our team back in the day, 6 years ago, this is what we went hard for. This kind of made up championship is the way I viewed it anyway. Now, I wasn't much of a contributor on this team, so maybe that's because I was kind of on the outside, looking in, just as an unbiased lens, what exactly is this event? It's essentially a made up championship that Corunna did win. We did win it when I was there. But yeah, it's that Mitka thing where it's a little bit more about your actual team depth, right, and less about the individual stars that you could have in track.
Because that is one thing. If you have 3 or 4 of the fastest people in the state, you could win essentially a team, state championship. But you really just have 2 or 3 of the best athletes in the state. So I get the concept behind the Mitka and stuff. I'm pretty sure it was created by Coach Aldrich, wasn't it?
I think you're right. Yeah.
He kind of, I'm sure he collaborated maybe with some other people, but I think it was created by him and at Corunna. So kind of cool.
Great coach.
I didn't know if it was still a thing. Is it?
Yeah,
so
it's still. I mean, it's a good meet.
It is.
It's well ran and everything, and there's a good amount of people there, and a lot of the best teams are there. I'm just.
It's still not officially recognized by the MHSAA.
No.
Okay.
No. And by the way, speaking of Corunna, their distance runner Logan Roca, who's outstanding, had a nice career. He won the Fattel Family Scholarship recently. So
nice.
Congratulations to him. Also, last thing on track, Morris girls track team, all 7 of them, 7 girls on the team, won the GAC Blue to three-peat. So, I mean, that's a story in
That's
itself.
awesome.
7 girls win the title.
Yeah.
That's tremendous. In baseball, Langsburg split a doubleheader with Chesaning to improve to 19-5, first place in the CMAC. The Indians in that doubleheader split improved to 17-3 overall, first place in the MMAC. So that's kind of a neat cross rivalry there where they got to play a couple games. Corunna down to Wasso 7-6 on Braden Bukovic's 7th inning sacrifice fly, and followed that up with a doubleheader sweep over Flint Kersley. Goodrich edged Lake Fenton, giving the Cavaliers a share of the Flint Metro League title with the Blue Devils, both at 12-3. Corunna improved to 18-3 overall. And I guess just hot off the wire, I saw a text this morning. There's some controversy that the Cavaliers weren't invited to the Lansing Diamond Classic. Fill us in on that a little bit, whatever you know, Jared.
Yeah, I know about as much as you. Yeah, apparently what happened was this is a tournament with all the best Lansing area teams. Corunna at 18-3, apparently state ranked, didn't get invited to it. I saw Lanesburg probably as the team that ended up getting their spot. You might know more about the ins and outs of that, but no, basically it just sounds like Corunna feels like they were wronged. Like they should have been competing in this Diamond Classic tournament. Is that something that was around when you went through, Matt?
No, but I remember a couple friends that that I still, stay in touch with. They graduated a couple years after me and they played in it. So I don't know if it was around when I was playing and we just didn't get invited. Maybe that
was around. It was around. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I definitely that's one thing. This is another little sidebar, but at least the few years that I went through, we didn't play in weekend tournaments. And I think I don't know if it's we weren't getting invited or what, but I think that's a cool thing for baseball. I think those weekend tournaments, it might be some long days or whatever, but I think those tournaments are fun. So
yeah. Well, I'll just tell you my opinion, just reading between the lines, and I have no idea if this is accurate or not, but if Corunna was still in the CAAC, they probably would have been invited. They're looked at more as a Flint area team and not a Lansing area team.
Right.
That'd be my guess. I could be wrong, but
that's probably has something to do with it.
I would think so.
It doesn't always have to be a conspiracy, right?
Right.
It could just be that they're in the Flint Metro. It is what it is.
That's my
I like to believe the conspiracy theory, man. They're out against the Cavaliers. I like to believe that.
Fair enough, but they are having a heck of a season. Hopefully they can go deep into the tournament. I do see that the team, I'm trying to remember the name now. I'm drawing a blank. The team that ended Orchard Lake St. Mary's streak is ranked number 1 in their division. So that could be tough. That could be tough. Also in softball, Owasso and Perry both won weekend tournaments. Trojans won the Owasso Invite, and Perry ruled the Fulton Invitational. And congrats to Chesaning's Haley Rolfe, set a new school record, blasting her 10th and 11th home runs in a sweep over Mount Morris. And finally, in golf, we haven't talked about that much. Owasso beat Corunna 236 to 291 strokes to take the Phillips Cup at the Owasso Country Club. And I know, Jared, you guys golf, but back in the days when I did golf, I just really enjoyed the Owasso Country Club layout. It's just an old school golf course with a lot of history.
Oh, it's awesome. The thing that I've always loved about it is when you drive by it, you can't tell. Just the changing in undulation throughout the whole course. A lot of hills right along the river. It's awesome. The back nine is awesome. Runs right along the river. A few different really crazy kind of drop offs. The one famous par 3 they have. No, it's a cool course. I mean, Arnold Palmer played there. I mean, the GOAT. What else do you need to know, man?
Right.
It is cool. It's for people that grew up in the area or know the area, it's not a hidden gem, but I almost feel like it is a little bit of a hidden gem, for Michigan golf courses. But yeah. I've only played there one time. I've been there for a few wedding receptions, and I've driven around golf carts with coolers of beer. I've only actually played there one time, though.
It's a beautiful course for sure. Like I said, a lot of history. Well, speaking of a lot of history, hashtag since 57. Let's talk a little NFL right after this.
Capital Sports Fieldhouse is the home of hit and pitch and a whole lot more. The 10,000 square foot turf field can be used for all indoor sports training, including football, baseball, basketball, softball, soccer, and many other activities. Hit and Pitch has 7 indoor batting cages with full pitching tunnel and the state-of-the-art Hit Tracks training system utilized by MLB organizations. located in the old Capitol Bowl J.C. Penney block on South Washington in Owasso, Michigan. For more details, call Capital Sports and Hit and Pitch at 989-472-4624 or online at capitalsportsfh.com.